There is a time in life when a man and woman decide it's time to make it official. We all know the procedures of making marriage official back in our countries. However, if you're living and working in a different country, things are different. In this case, we're talking about the United Arab Emirates. Things are different from what we know back in our countries. This video will address official or legal marriage in the United Arab Emirates, the steps and processes, and what is required. If the subscribe button is still red on your page, click it so that you subscribe. But if it's gray, thank you so much for subscribing. Don't do anything, I don't want to lose you. Click the notification so that we can notify you every time we have a new video. Give this video a thumbs up, and if there's anything else you want us to talk about, put that comment in the comments box. So let's talk about marriage in the United Arab Emirates. Everyone would love to have their marriage ceremony done at home with family, relatives, and friends. COVID-19 has brought a lot of changes in the travel industry. Quarantining in some countries, COVID tests everywhere you go, high prices of the air tickets, flight suspensions, all this is happening due to COVID-19. And after getting home, you still can't invite more than 20 people for your wedding. So which kills the purpose of going back home to have a family wedding. In times like this, we cannot wait for the situation to get better to go back home and do the wedding. So what we can do, we can have the wedding in the United Arab Emirates and either broadcast it to the people back home, or you send them a video. Later on, when things get better, then you can go back home and arrange a reception lunch with family and friends. How is marriage defined in the United Arab Emirates? In the United Arab Emirates, marriage is defined as a contract between a man and woman aimed at protecting the rights of the couple and their children. However, in the United Arab Emirates, same-sex marriages are not recognized. Now let's see how we get married in the United Arab Emirates. Let us start by looking at the e-marriage service that is in the United Arab Emirates. The Ministry of Justice in the United Arab Emirates started an e-marriage service. This allows couples wishing to get married to book an appointment with a marriage officer. This can be done online, and it's linked to the Emirates ID database system. The Judiciary Department in Abu Dhabi and the Dubai courts have got the e-marriage services and also services of marriage officers. Let us look at Islamic marriage or Sharia marriage. All nationals living in the United Arab Emirates can conclude their marriage in the country. Islamic marriages are conducted according to Sharia law, and Sharia law applies in the following cases below. One is if both the groom and the bride are Muslims, and two is if the groom is a Muslim but the bride is a non-Muslim. Sharia law does not allow a woman who is a Muslim to get married to a non-Muslim man without proof of a man converting to Islam. Polygamy is allowed in the United Arab Emirates law because it's also allowed in Sharia law. A Muslim man may have up to 4 wives as long as he can give them equal treatment and equal support. What are the legal requirements for Muslim marriage? First thing is presence of the couple is a must. A wedding cannot be concluded if one of the parties is not available. Secondly, the legal age allowed for marriage is 18 and above. Anyone less than 18 years of age cannot be allowed to get married in the United Arab Emirates. Age difference of the couple may not be twice of the other. For example, one cannot be 40 when the other is 20. That is not allowed. They have to be less than twice the age of the other. A marriage contract must be registered in Sharia court in the United Arab Emirates. Pre-marital screening certificate has to be provided for both the bride and the groom, and this must be from a reputable hospital or a government hospital, showing that you are all alright to get married. You need to have the presence of the bride's father or the guardian and 2 male Muslim witnesses. For a woman who is getting married, she must have consent of the father or the guardian. Divorced and widowed women must show proof of their status before they can get married. If the bride is a Muslim but the groom is not, in this case you need to provide a no objection certificate from the embassy or consulate of the bride. Let us look at marriage with a local or an Emirati. For all UAE nationals, for all Emiratis, the maximum dowry is 50,000 dirhams, but 20,000 dirhams has to be paid in advance. Let us look at the different scenarios. Scenario A is when an Emirati woman is getting married to a foreigner or an expat. If an Emirati woman wishes to marry an expat, she needs to present the following. 1 is consent from her parents or a guardian, and 2 is permit from her employer if she's working in the armed forces. And in addition, for the groom side, there are also requirements. The groom must not be stateless, the groom must be a legitimate resident of the United Arab Emirates, and the groom must also obtain a certificate of good conduct from the United Arab Emirates. What about marriage of non-Muslims in the United Arab Emirates? Non-Muslims in the United Arab Emirates can conclude their marriage formalities in 2 different ways. 1 is concluding the marriage at the embassy or consulate of their countries. And 2 is concluding this marriage in either a church or temple or any worship center according to their religion. Some countries require their citizens to file an application of intention to get married at their embassy or consulate. So I suggest you also check with your embassy if there's any procedures or formalities required before you get married. For example, most embassies will need you to register your marriage at the embassy. For any marriage in the United Arab Emirates, it's a must for the marriage to be registered at the embassy or the consulate of both partners. So ladies and gentlemen, there's nothing at all stopping you from putting that ring on. Thank you so much for watching. Thank you so much for your time. In case you still have a subscribe button in red, click it to subscribe to this channel. And if it's gray, thank you so much for subscribing. You don't have to click it again. If you have any other question about life in the United Arab Emirates and Dubai, please leave a comment in the comments box. Give this video a thumbs up, and thank you so much. See you in the next video tomorrow.